Hey, it's Nikki.
And it's Brie.
And we're
Late to the Party,
a podcast about the film, fashion, and pop culture moments that shape us into the weirdos that we are. And today we are talking about La La Land.
A favorite of mine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I love La La Land, which don't we all? I don't know.
I feel like contextually La La Land's been a journey.
Yeah.
Like I remember watching this movie in the theaters thinking it was going to be, I was like, that's it. I love this movie. It's about dreams and love and like loss. It was like perfect. It's an ode to like old Hollywood. I was very sold on it. And the week after I saw La La Land, way back in our Lord and Savior 2016, I saw Moonlight a week later.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, that's going to win Best Picture. Like, that's my Best Picture. It blows La La Land out of the water. And then I didn't watch La La Land until a couple weeks ago.
Same. No, I was on the same. I completely agree. Because I think we saw both of these movies together in theaters. And I remember thinking like, yeah, La La Land's going to win so many things. And then after Moonlight, and I think I still feel this way. Like looking back, I'm like, yeah, Moonlight deserved to win. Like, I haven't watched Moonlight, but I just remember the impact it had on me and just...
Definitely.
It was so beautiful. I don't know. I mean, La La Land is great, I think. It still holds up and stuff, but...
Yeah, I think La La Land's a movie which in the past couple weeks I've watched it 2.5 times. So I went from like not watching La La Land to only watching La La Land for
Did you cry both times?
No, I don't cry at the ending. It touches me, but I don't cry. But it is a movie that is very rewatchable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Moonlight is, but I loved Moonlight at the time. It's a movie that it really resonated with me. So I'm really glad it won Best Picture. But that even was a journey. I feel like La La Land is a movie that conjures up a lot of things. I think in time it's going to be regarded as like a modern day classic, and contextually with all like the mix up and this came out at a time that it's like Oscars so white. A lot of things were happening.
Yep.
Trump got elected.
Yeah.
As the Oscars are happening, so that's like right on the brain. I think a lot of things are to unpack about La La Land that have nothing to do with La La Land.
It's just the timing, yeah.
Yeah. Because La La Land itself is great. It's perfect. I thoroughly enjoyed it every time I've watched it. Like more and more and more. I think the more I watch La La Land, especially out of context, like from a 2024 lens, I'm sold. I love La La Land.
I love the soundtrack. Like I love the music. I love the story. I'm a sucker for a musical anyway, so...
Let's unpack it. So the film opens up. So La La Land is a 2016 movie musical directed by Damien and Chazelle and starring Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling.
About John Legend.
And John Legend. Don't forget. But, it tells the story of Mia and Seb and their journey from being like aspirational actors and jazz musicians to like their whole journey. But yeah, musicals. So you love a good musical.
Yes. Love. I was raised on musicals.
What musicals raised you, Brie?
I would say The Wizard of Oz. Sound of Music would be a big one. I'm trying to think what else. What's that one? Where they're clanging with the trolley. What's that one? Is it like
oh god.
Is it Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? Is that a musical?
Yeah, but that's not Clink Clink. Is that Gypsy?
I don't know. I feel like I've seen a lot. I feel like Mountain Uncle would always be playing musicals around me. And that's I probably absorbed that. That had to be where it started.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think. High School Musical.
The best musical.
The best musical. Oh, Shrek the musical. No, I'm just kidding.
Have you seen Shrek the musical?
I have not. But you're going to see it, aren't you?
I might.
I'm a little jealous. You're going to have to tell me how that is.
See, I'm like a little wishy-washy on musicals.
Yeah, because Nikki, tell me about your feelings, because you have a theater background. Like, do you have mixed feelings on musicals? Or?
Yeah. I studied theater in school, but there's two camps of theater people. And like, as a theater person or a former reformed theater person, it never leaves you. So in the sense, like all the sensibilities and all the music, especially in La La Land in this film, are things that I love. But as far as musicals in general go, Like 2016 is the year of Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
Not a fan. There's two types of theater people, and I'm a theater person that like did plays.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know,
you weren't a fan of Hamilton?
I'm the Seb, I think.
But those songs slapped.
The songs slap. It's one of those things that hasn't aged maybe as well.
Mm-hmm.
But like I loved Rent at the time. I loved Hairspray.
Yes.
I love musicals. I love Spring Awakening. But it takes a lot for me to just welcome one with open arms.
It's not every musical for you. It's select musicals.
Can I be really honest with you,
Of
Brie?
course. Yes.
The intro song of La La Land. So the movie opens up and it basically is like a Coca-Cola commercial.
It is. It really is. I love it though.
What is the song called? Another Day in the Sun or in LA or
Another Day of Sun.
Another Day of Sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gave me the ick.
Really?
Completely. That it lost me. I was like, what? Because we watched this the other day with our friends and I was like, what movie did I put on? This is not like I remember. Like it just made me like the ick city.
Really?
I was like, this is going to be like Willy Wonka. I can't do this. I want to eject from my seat. And then we meet Ryan Gosling, Seb, and Emma Stone as Mia right away. And then it soothed everything. I think.
Yeah.
I think without going too far into it right at the top of the show, I just want to say this movie would not be what it is without those two leads.
Oh, I agree.
If it was any other, if it was Emma Watson or
it almost was.
Yeah,
which
or
is
Miles
crazy.
Teller.
And she left that she had this opportunity and left. It like turned it down for Beauty and the Beast, which also was not that great of a musical to me. Wait, was it a musical?
I don't know.
Did she sing?
Depends on.
Hold on.
She did sing.
I think I blocked out Beauty and the Beast because I didn't really like it. And I'm like, why are we doing this? And why is it Emma Watson? Like, I don't know.
You know, I watched Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beat.
Beauty and the Beat. Wait, that's something else. Wait,
Keep
is
your
that
eye out for Selena?
I was gonna say, wait, isn't that Justin Bieber's song?
Yes. You know,
better musical than Beauty and the Beast.
Yes. Beauty and the Beat, Nicki Minaj, Justin Bieber, better than Beauty and the Beast. But Beauty and the Beast has a singing Emma Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Watched it at a dry bar semi-recently. Does not hold up. La La Land holds up.
And the leads like have so much charisma and chemistry. Like, and I remember Emma Stone, like at that time, I feel like her and Ryan Gosling were really like their careers were climbing, you know? But everyone, like, I thought loved them.
Yeah.
At that time. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
I still do.
I still do too. Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling are two people that in the early 2010s really found their groove. In the last 10 years have just been like a steady climb.
Yeah.
And now, you know, Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling, they're both nominated for Academy Awards this year in 2024. Ryan Gosling for Ken in Barbie and Emma Stone in Poor Things.
Yeah.
So wouldn't it be a weird world where Emma Stone wins Best Actress for Poor Things and Ryan Gosling gets it for Barbie? That's a long shot, but Emma Stone's going to win Best Actress.
I haven't seen the movie Poor Things yet, though, but I want to see it.
Allegedly, it's coming to Hulu.
Oh,
which I was trying to see Poor Things, and then I got the flu.
No, you poor thing.
I know. But what was the point? They just have great chemistry.
They have good chemistry. They were in like a couple other movies, I think, before La La Land.
Crazy Stupid Love, which have you seen?
I have not.
Their chemistry's great. I don't remember anything else about the movie.
Just those two.
They really do have a great rapport with each other. And you can tell the way they look at each other. There's this like energy that's really kinetic that they have that I don't see a lot. Like
with cast members.
Like even we're going to do an episode soon-ish on The Proposal. Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock are in that. And they have really good chemistry. But you can really
like it doesn't
tell.
Translate off screen.
Well, I mean, allegedly they are friends in real life too, but it's like a friendly chemistry that those two have. And Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone have a friendly chemistry. Like I believe that they're friends or friendly, and have worked with each other a lot and have this rapport. But there's also this chemistry, like the way Emma Stone looks at Ryan Gosling, you can tell like there's just something, not saying like they're in love or anything, but when you can have like a platonic crush on someone and feel butterflies and feel the zazazoo, to quote Carrie Bradshaw.
Yeah. I don't know. I know what you're saying though. Like in the interviews, the chemistry's just so off the charts. I love it. I remember shipping them as a real life couple for a while, especially after this movie.
Yeah.
I just believed it. But
no, I think that there's
something
great.
There. There's something. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's more admiration.
Probably.
But you can say that all you want, because next week we're talking A Star Is Born, and that is actually my Roman Empire.
Yes. Which, speaking of A Star Is Born, this movie I feel like has a lot of parallels to A Star Is Born, because it's like there's two people, very ambitious.
Which is not a dirty word. Reese Witherspoon said we can use that word.
Really?
Do you remember in 2014 when like there was a Glamour cover or something and Reese Witherspoon was like, ambition's not a dirty word. Like she invented ambition.
Yeah, Elle Woods.
Can go off Elle Woods.
I love her.
But I don't know why I always think about that. I'm like, yeah, you created ambition.
She did for me. Oh, I love Reese Witherspoon. I love seeing her TikToks. She's cute. But yeah, I feel like Mia and Sebastain are very ambitious, just like Allie and Jackson.
Yeah. I don't know if that's true in all of the Stars Borns.
I don't know how true it is, but
insert whatever their Allie or Jackson is.
Yeah. I feel like because we watched them not too long ago.
Back to back.
Yeah. It just made me think like the whole one person being more successful at a certain point in their career and then someone like selling out. I don't know. I just noticed a lot of parallels.
Yeah, definitely a lot of parallels.
Yeah.
I don't know. This movie hits really close to home for me, Brie.
What, La La Land?
Yes. I think Damien Chazelle does a really great job of doing all the right things as far as the cinematography is banging. The actors are really great and have this chemistry. All the pieces, the color theory.
I love how they use color in this film.
Same. And like the old Hollywood of it all, the musical of it all. Like he does a really great job of everything. But and maybe it's him, a little bit of him, a little bit of the actors. But the way that Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling play these two people that meet at the right time. Mm-hmm. To meet each other in their lives when they're going through similar internal struggles and external struggles.
Yeah, and they push each other to do better. It's like for some reason, they can't push themselves. So they like motivate each other.
Yeah.
Somehow. And they want to see each other succeed.
But they're just like stumbling along.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something really special, though, about the way this particular story is told, which I think is really cool. And I don't know exactly what that is, if it's like a vulnerability that it has or like an earnestness it has. There is an interesting thing. This movie's very earnest, so it's an interesting thing when you see that on screen effectively.
Yeah. No, I feel like it's easy to relate to the characters. Like if you're a creative person just trying to make anything happen, like like Ryan Gosling's character like wanting to play like his own music at the jazz piano bar, and Emma Stone's character going to all these auditions and like facing rejection, and then like how you deal with that, like getting ready to like give up. Like I'm like, oh, I can relate to that feeling.
Putting yourself out there.
Yeah, it's scary to put yourself out there.
It is. It's really scary. Yeah. And Emma Stone's Mia, it's like perfectly encapsulates that.
Yeah. It makes me think though, because I'm like, she's an actor. You know what? I wonder like her process to get into this character, if she could relate at all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, according to the IMDb, they took parts of Emma Stone's journey as an actor and a little bit of Ryan Gosling, especially the story about like the really emotional scene on the phone. That was apparently a story ripped straight out of Ryan Gosling's life.
Oh dang! Someone was really on the phone and interrupted his audition.
Which I believe that the Mia,
that's so wrong.
The Mia audition scenes hit me to my core.
Yeah,
and I think in 2016 I could not. this movie probably hit me so hard because I was in the thick of it. I was essentially Mia. So I don't know. It's great to be separated now and watch it and like admire it. I'm like Emma Stone admiring Ryan Gosling. I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
it's cool. Yeah. But yeah, speaking of musicals and like this vulnerability, so Damien Chazelle thinks that the musical as a genre is a great vehicle for expressing the balancing act between dreams and reality.
Yes. I love that. Like, I love how, like, a lot of the songs just kind of happen at, like, they kind of sneak them in there just in the middle of, like, a scene. And then all of a sudden it's a full-blown number. It's just so fun and playful. And,
Yeah.
you know, and I love how they're singing about what's happening or what they're dreaming about. And it's just, like, dreamy. It's so fun. I don't know. I always have this feeling, like, in real life, like, I want to bust out into song and wish life could be a musical. It's definitely, like, a fantasy.
I feel like everyone has that feeling, you know? When something really good happens, at least for me, I want to sing.
Yes. I want to swing around a lamppost.
Truly, fully Singing in the Rain style, which I know between this and Babylon, Damien Chazelle is a massive Singing in the Rain head.
He has to be.
He's
that
in the
and Casablanca.
Singing in the Rain, yes.
There's so many Casablanca references, like
100%. It's like he took Casablanca and Singing in the Rain and it was like, how can I do this?
Yeah. He definitely did his research, you could tell, because there's so many references. And it's fun. I love those little Easter eggs. Like, I feel like looking at it now, I'm like, there's a lot of old musicals that I haven't seen, but it kind of makes me want to see them.
100%. That's totally a blind spot for me, just in general. But I'm working on it.
Yeah, like, I've never seen Singing in the Rain, but I've seen so many, like, I understand.
And I'm like, I've only seen Singing in the Rain. But yeah, musicals, I said give me the ick.
Yeah.
Which sometimes they do. But
Sometimes
also,
they do.
The beauty of a musical is what Damien Chazelle said. It's that feeling of when you're so happy and you want to sing. Musicals or music expresses like what our, not to be cheesy, what our heart says.
Yeah.
You know, what we're unable to just say in words or thought. It's feelings and thought and everything encapsulated
and dance
in one. Yeah.
The dance numbers.
Yes.
I love the, like, when there's like some Bob Fosse references.
Truly.
You know?
My favorite scene in the whole entire film is when Mia and Seb, after they meet and they're looking for Mia's car, her Prius, one out of, 50 black Priuses. But they do this number, like tap dancing number.
Oh, yes.
And the moment Emma Stone busts out her tap shoes, I'm just like, go off. I'm like so excited.
I know. I love how she just like has tap shoes, like out of the blue, just puts them on and then bam, they're dancing. Like, it's great. I also I think my favorite's probably when they're dancing like in the sky, when they go to the
Griffith Observatory.
The observatory. What do you call it? Is it a planetarium? Is that what you call it? When the projections. But I love how it like blurs the line between it's like reality and fantasy. It's like, yeah, it represents those feelings. They're both like falling in love and I don't know. It's just, it's great.
No, those two scenes are super effective.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can we talk about that a little? The music of it all?
Yeah.
So City of Stars was the big Oscar-winning song.
Which that whistle that Ryan Gosling does, it's like in my head, like that like tune.
I know, low-key City of Stars has been in my head for days.
Yeah. It's been a couple of weeks for me. Almost every day I wake up and I'm like,
Do you think La La Land uses music effectively? Because it's a little different as far as movie musicals go. Especially when you think about, the past 20 years of movie musicals, Chicago wins in 2002. And we have, our Into the Woodses, our Rents, our, like Mamma Mia's. But those are very traditional.
Yeah.
And they're movie musicals that are taken from stage to screen. This is just a movie musical. This isn't like previous IP. This isn't really trying to be like, that genre of like a Rent or Spring Awakening of like, we're going to rock it up. We're going to rock of ages. It's not that. It's, it's very stripped down. It's very 2016 and how cool they bust into song.
Yeah, I think it's effective. I think, yeah, I'm trying to pinpoint like what it is that makes it different from the other. I don't know if it's like a combination of things, maybe. I swear that the actors look at the camera a lot or something, like directly as they're singing. Not the whole time, but like I feel like there's little things like that I noticed, or like camera angles. Like you feel like you're really in it, you know, with the characters.
La La Land's the cool girl of movie musicals.
Yeah.
It's not like the other musicals.
I'm like, maybe part of it is how it's shot, because sometimes you'll see musical numbers and you're very like zoomed out, you know, and sometimes it'll be like the whole cast and like, yeah, there might be choreography involved, but it doesn't feel as intimate or something. Like La La Land just feels intimate, and maybe it's like the camera motions too, because sometimes the camera sweeps around and zooms out, and
it's very ambitious with its camera choices. I love the party scene where you're taken with the camera as this person like jumps into the pool and like spins around, and from the point of view of the pool sees the whole entire party.
I love that.
Very cool.
And how like everyone's like frozen in place until she walks by, and then they start moving again, and it's almost like slow motion. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe it's something like with that, like an added element maybe that is more immersive.
Definitely.
That makes it a little more successful.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, also to that point, like Damien Chazelle is the king, or now the king, of referencing all these old Hollywood movies and especially musicals.
Mm-hmm.
So he took a little bit of that and modernized it, you know, hipsterfied it a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what really makes it different than other movie musicals is the fact that its inspirations are in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only looking in the present to ground it.
Yeah.
Like any iPhones, any, you know, Prius, any nods to current day, just ground it. Everything else, it's like a fantasy.
Yeah, for having so many references, like it doesn't feel like old. Like for having like referenced so many like older classic movies.
Definitely. It does a good job too. Except Another Day in the Sun.
Yeah, you didn't like
that. No.
See, I enjoyed it, but I do think it would have made more sense if it had Emma Stone's character, like, you know, if it had Mia and Sebastain, both of them participating in that, like them being in traffic, because they are in traffic, and you see that afterwards. And I do like when supporting casts also dance and participate.
Yeah.
Like I love the number with like Mia and her girlfriends walking out, like stepping out on the streets, you know?
But they're actually a supporting cast.
Yeah.
Like these people in the intro are just extras.
I think it was just for fun. It's like you're gonna get into a fun musical, like at the top. They're just trying to set a tone, I guess.
See, I need to be eased into a musical. I'm the opposite of you know how like Mean Girls, a musical, and Wonka and you know all these new musicals, the marketing, they're trying not to tell you it's a musical at the trailer. Tell me at the trailer, don't tell me at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
The beginning, I want some dialogue. I want to ease into a musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want it in your face.
No, I have to be warmed up to it.
You're like, you gotta trick me into this a little bit.
Yes.
Just yeah.
Just
I feel like
say
they
some
do
words.
for the rest of it, but just not at the beginning. They're like,
I don't remember that beginning either.
I don't either. Honestly, when it started playing, I was like, wait, who are these people? And I'm like, wait, should I be remembering this? But I guess maybe it's like Hollywood, like LA, it's a city of dreams. Like these are all people on their way to auditions as well, or doing something, right? I don't know.
I get it. I just don't know if I get it for the movie, but
yeah, it probably could have. It probably doesn't really do anything.
It doesn't do anything for me personally. But what else do you want to get into? So we did touch a little bit on Mia and Seb.
Yeah.
I love the many meet cutes of Mia and Seb.
Yeah, they keep running into each other. Like, what is their first meet cute? It's when she sees him playing the piano, right? And he just brushes past her
off. Yeah.
He like gets fired in front of her. He like plays his own original tune instead of like he's hired to play like Christmas music or something, and he goes off and
does like a whole piece.
Yeah. It sounded good though.
It did, which I am shocked. That's Ryan Gosling.
Yes. Oh my God. Fun fact. He studied piano so hard for this role. 2 hours a day for 6 days a week. He practiced. And they had like a double ready to do all the complicated piano scenes. They didn't even have to use the double. It was all him this whole time. And this is all Ryan Gosling playing the piano.
And Ryan Gosling took it upon himself.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
I don't know. It just makes me love Ryan Gosling even more.
I am late to the party on Ryan Gosling. I didn't appreciate him for a plethora of years. I was never someone growing up where I was like, The Notebook is my favorite romance movie or whatever, my idea of a romance. I did think he was attractive in it, but I don't remember that having like an impact on me.
Yeah.
The first time I took notice of Ryan Gosling, honestly, was Drive.
Oh, yeah. Which I was late to the party on that. And I was also late to the party on The Notebook.
The Notebook.
I hadn't seen it. Like, I saw it maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So La La Land, honestly, for me, was when I fell in love with Ryan Gosling.
Well, and then I remember the meme where it was like, every girl loves Ryan Gosling, or Ryan Gosling's peak feminism, or whatever it was. But it's like, it's okay, girl.
Hey, girl.
Like,
yeah.
Beginning of memes. Oh, it was Hey Girl.
Hey Girl. Yeah. I think you got me a notebook with Ryan Gosling. I still have it. Yeah.
It's an Urban Outfitters pick.
I love it.
But yeah, I don't know. Something about Ryan Gosling I just really like. The older I get, the more I appreciate Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
He's like my Beyonce. He's a male Beyonce to me.
Yeah.
Like
he's multi-talented.
In the sense that so you told me that fact about Ryan Gosling playing the piano.
Mm-hmm.
And my heart sang in the same way when I see Beyonce perform. I don't know, something about Ryan Gosling.
Same chemicals in your brain. Like,
yes. Okay, so Beyonce, I don't know if I've ever said this on the pod, but
mm-hmm.
Beyonce, like, I will cry listening to Formation.
I know.
That's how like weird I am about Beyonce. I just really admire her and her like starting from a young age and being like, this is my whole life's work and my craft, and getting better and better as you age, and aging gracefully, and like working really hard and just like loving the craft of it. I feel like Ryan Gosling evokes those same feelings in me as Beyonce, where I'm like, I admire him so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he really puts his whole Ryan Gosling into his roles and into acting.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he can do it all. I love him when he performs too.
I'm impressed.
Oh my God. And I love that I'm Just Ken got nominated for Best Original Song, which means Ryan Gosling at the Oscars this year is going to have to perform I'm Just Ken.
Yes, he better. Honestly, I loved him as Ken. He was hilarious. And just like, when he can actually sing, like, he has a good voice.
He can dance.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling, love him dancing.
Same. Yeah. He has a lot of personality. I think he hides it, you know?
Yes. Low key, Ryan Gosling is funny. That's what, speaking of memes, Brie, Seb, the like mansplaining meme when he's at the table explaining jazz to Mia.
Uh-huh.
For some reason in my head, I was like, Seb is going to be really annoying. But when Ryan Gosling plays Seb, he's not.
He's not. Yeah. Even when he's mansplaining, it's not like annoying. Yeah.
No, he's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
There's like not a mean bone in his body. He's not trying to mansplain. He just loves
educate.
jazz.
He's trying to educate. She don't know anything about jazz.
No.
And he's just trying to help.
He's like, you like jazz?
Yeah. He's like, it's like a B-movie reference in there, I think. I like to think it is.
Damien Chazelle was like really influenced by B-movie.
Well, this is delivery too. You like jazz. He says it the same as Barry B. I mean.
Do you think that's a Ryan Gosling? Because Ryan Gosling is funny.
That
That's
could be
what
a
I
choice.
forgot from La
he could
La
have
Land.
snuck that in there.
You like jazz?
I don't know. It's one of my favorite lines.
I like to picture that. I don't know. I know he has a sense of humor. Can we get into Seb a little bit then? Just starting out with our main fella.
Yeah.
So Ryan Gosling said of his character Sebastain, his heroes were born 70 years ago, and in this day and age, a great piano player playing real jazz is destined to work in bars, where people don't even stop their conversations to listen to you. So how much do you compromise to be the artist you want to be? And he also said, I think Sebastain is struggling with the difference between being a purist and being a snob. Ultimately, Gosling continues, Sebastain faces the question lots of creative people are faced with. Do I keep pursuing this work that actually nourishes me, Or do I have to accept that this is just a job and I have to pay the bills?
Yeah, it's a good point. It gets more relatable as you get older, that part, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's a snob necessarily at the start. Like, I think he obviously knows his history of jazz, like the culture around it. Like, he's informed and maybe has like an appreciation for it that has gotten lost. But also, I think there's something about maybe keeping up with the times to a degree. Like, John Legend, he plays his friend Keith. When he comes into the picture and he's like, if you're not making music that relates to people now, what are you doing? Or something. Like, I feel like there's some truth to that. But at the same time, it's like, well, where's the line where you're like also true to yourself? And I don't know.
I'm so conflicted on this, and I feel like I could talk for hours on it. Good thing we're on a podcast.
Yeah.
I don't. It really, when I hear the word sellout, it makes me think of the 90s. In the music industry in the 90s, which is, it's something that it's one of my passions.
Yeah.
But, looking at and doing a lot of research about the 90s and music in the 90s, there were bands like Nirvana and pretty much every grunge act until they started handing out the flannels seemingly, and everyone it was super commercial. But the big thing in the 90s was every Gen Xer was so worried about being a sellout. We don't really have that problem anymore, but the last quote unquote great music era was the 90s, and I think there is something to be said or to think about when you have a lot of authenticity and you have a lot of pride in what you do, and you're doing the work. You're creating what you want to create because you like the way it sounds. Like, I listen to like, the Pixies, albums from like the 80s. And I think about how they were doing something that combined like their pop sensibilities, their rock, but also doing really odd things that became the mainstream sound for all of the 90s rock.
Yeah.
But they didn't know that at the time. They were just creating weird shit.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to create, even as a creative, I don't know if this is too serious or down a rabbit hole, but like, it's very hard for a creative, which you have to do nowadays, to be an actual artist who's creating and thinking of these ideas and doing that part of it, and also being a brand, which you have to think about nowadays.
Right.
It's hard to create like that.
And in the movie, it like is touching on that because like we see Seb, like his career starts to rise once he joins this band, which the band itself I don't think is like a bad thing that he's joining the band. Like, he does need to make money. He doesn't really have a job. Like, it's like a step closer to his goal. It'll get him there, but he gets kind of lost in the fame of it all, or the attention or something, even though he's not playing the music that he necessarily wants to create. So
yeah,
but he's part of it's like a brand that like an image that he has to keep up with, or maybe that's what he feels like this is what success is.
See, the way I interpreted Seb getting a part of John Legend's band is he knew in his heart that music is like Maroon 5, what people call sellout music.
Yeah.
It's like this funk light, poppy, very palatable. You can play it at a wedding. You can play it at a child's birthday party.
It was kind of, okay. Yes. It was kind of cool though when he had 3 different pianos though on stage. He had a synth and he had like the piano and a keyboard. Like, that was kind of fun. I'm just saying. I know. I'm like, I don't know what my point is. I feel like
you're like, I loved that band.
I loved when he sold out. No, I not really.
But my only point was, so I always interpreted Seb knowing that it was crap.
Yeah.
And being like, well, a job's a job and I need to make money, and this is better than one not, having to get like a survival job that's not playing music.
Yeah.
Like, this is basically like the thought that I think Seb's going through something that I've definitely thought, and I know a lot of creative people feel. It's, I can't make money doing what I want to do, but I can do like, it's basically justifying selling out essentially, but it's like, well, a job's a job. I'm lucky enough to have this job. No one's going to like the work that I put out. So it's all just fear.
Yeah.
Truthfully, how Mia feels, how, Sebastain feels, it's all just fear in the way they manifest. Because first, when Seb is mansplaining you like jazz to Mia and being so hard and stringent about his like club and his ideas about jazz and real music and being a real artist, that's coming from a place of fear too.
Yeah.
Because he's worried that if he doesn't get on the defensive and put himself out there, that puts him in a vulnerable position. And then on the opposite side of fear is this selling out, that no one's going to like my art.
Right.
I'm past my prime. So let me go join John Legend's, top 40 band, because at least I'll be making money and no one wants my art. I don't have to put myself out there.
Yeah. I guess if you were looking at it as just a job, but as a way to get to your goal once you save up. Like, I don't know, like when they have that argument, like Mia is like, look, when she calls him out for selling out, basically, and she's like, why aren't you working on your club? Like, that's your dream. And he's like, what are dreams anymore? And then it's funny because she starts following her dream.
Yeah.
She does her one woman show. She's not making any money. So far she hasn't had, like, all her auditions so far have gone terribly. She's been rejected, or like something's happened where like it just hasn't worked out. She's like, the next one could be the next big one, and they never are. And then she's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna make my own one woman show and we'll see what happens.
So long, Boulder City.
I love this energy though, because she is they're on different sides of the spectrum. Like, she's going all the way, just chasing her dream, being true to herself, losing money in the process, paying for the show to be at the theater. So she's trying to get people to, like, if they buy a ticket, she's hoping to get back the money. And, it doesn't really go the way she wanted it to go, but someone does notice her. Like, it does. I don't know. I wonder if the message of the film is, I don't know what the message is, because they both end up getting what they want eventually. It takes time. Maybe that's part of the message, is it takes time, because she says that she's been in LA for like 5 or 6 years doing the same thing and not having any success. And she's like ready to give up, because she says it's almost too painful. She says it hurts too much to keep doing this, which I feel like is really relatable, because that's how I feel sometimes about my art. I'm like, that hit me when she said that, because it's like you keep putting yourself out there and you just get the door slammed in your face. You don't want to do it anymore. But is it worse to not do anything at all with it at the same time? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It also, like, when she was her most vulnerable, I feel like the one woman show is probably the most vulnerable that we see her. She hand decorates the sets and everything, and they don't really get into that much of what the show is about, but we know it's probably pulling off of her experiences, and she's very passionate about it. She's, maybe there's something to her, like maybe not just acting, but maybe like writing too, like just like all this creativity, and
it's her. She's putting herself out there on the line to be judged, or worse, when, like with the one woman show, when no one comes at all. But that's the risk you have to take.
It is the risk. But someone did notice her in the crowd, like a producer or something, and then they have her audition for something else, and then her career takes off and she goes to Paris, So it does work out, maybe being vulnerable, just like going for it, just jumping in. Like, what is the word for that? Just fully
throwing yourself in the deep end.
Throwing yourself in the deep end. Yeah. If it's so scary.
It is. And I understand Seb not throwing himself in the deep end.
He's more practical.
But that doesn't get you anywhere. But I also totally relate to Mia. And my favorite scenes, besides the cute tap dancing number with Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, one of my other favorite scenes is Mia's audition. Where she, auditioning is so interesting. Yeah. Because it didn't really strike me, I guess because you live your own life and I'm, maybe a narcissist. But like living your whole life and doing things that you just think are normal. And then when people are, because we saw this movie a couple weeks ago with a bunch of friends. Yeah. And it seemed like even when I talked to my fiance, he's like, That's so weird. That auditioning scene with Mia getting like told no, like before she even speaks, or
I'm sure it happens.
It does. I cannot tell you how many times I've gone into a room and I've said 2 words, maybe a sentence tops, and then they say thank you.
Yeah.
And you see them take your headshot and put it in the no bin.
Yeah.
Or in a pile. And sometimes it's a yes pile, but it strikes enough fear in you and doubt that you think it's a no pile. Even if you get a callback or even if you get the role, it's like this.
Because it's quick. You're like, all right, we made our choice.
Yeah.
Like,
and you're like, they hate me forever.
And they're judging you based on superficial things. You know, it might be looks. It might be the way you read the line or something. It's like very just like a quick judge. It's like a snap judgment, I guess.
Yeah.
Which probably like one audition doesn't encapsulate all that you're capable of, you know? So it's like.
Most actors are terrible at auditioning. But it's like a skill.
Well, it's like any job. Pretty much some people can be really good at the interview and then suck as like a worker. So like I feel like auditioning's like sort of like that.
It's heightened,
but
job interviews.
Very heightened. Yeah.
But constantly going after it. I mean, you know, life and being a creative person's full of rejection. It's interesting being an actor. You know, nowadays with self-tape and all the things, there are a little more walls between you and the rejection. Mm-hmm. But acting is like that one profession where a part of the job is to just be rejected all the time. And to hear 10,000 no's.
Auditioning's hard. I've only done it like once or twice. But like you have to pretend like that there's things that are not there. Like someone might not be reading lines to you, or they might be, but like I love like when they show her on the phone, like she has to pretend she's taking a phone call and then someone else comes in and she's still kind of holding the phone. She's like, do I keep going with this? You can see like this look on her face. Yeah. She's like doesn't want to break character because she's a professional, you know. And
it's so when they talking about zooming, mm-hmm. when they zoom in closer as she's trying to, like, you can almost see Emma Stone's like gears turning when she's like, how do I keep in this character while I'm paused so they can do like some assistant can come in and talk to the director or whatever, but just trying to keep that like momentum or fizz going, you know, in character still so she can perform it. And then they're like, never mind. It's
so frustrating. She's like giving the performance of her lifetime. Like,
yes.
And I'm like,
for what Dangerous Minds meets the OC.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my God. The relatability for that one. But
that sounds like a fun show though.
It does. I know. It does sound good.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? I don't know. Auditioning.
Yeah.
It's tough.
So do you think they do a good job of like showing that on screen?
The best. La La Land is the best movie if you want to be like, what's it like to be an actor? It's Mia in La La Land.
Yeah. There you have it.
No, it's like case closed.
Case closed.
No, when we're talking about auditioning, I love it when I've been in auditions before where the people on the other side on the panel are, you know, like doing the sides with you mm-hmm. while you're doing the audition, and they like talk like this. Oh, and this, and they give you nothing.
No
and you
inflection.
have to, and they go as like slow as a snail.
You just have to. It's hard to react off something with no, like if they're not giving you the emotions. You just yeah.
Or I've been in an opposite where I've had one time someone reading, and I was like, man, they're better than me. Like, oh my God,
really?
Yeah. Where I was like, I think I should leave.
You're like, all right.
They killed this. It's late.
That's hilarious. You know, I didn't realize that this director, Damien, is it Chazelle?
Yeah.
Damien Chazelle. I didn't realize he also did Whiplash.
Yes.
Because he had tried to get, I guess La La Land was an idea for a while. And
it started in like 2010 when he was still in college.
Yeah. But no one would pick it up. But once he did Whiplash, they were like, okay. Which... Like, did you ever see Whiplash?
I have seen bits and pieces, but I have not.
I have not either, but I want to see it because it seems like a similar premise. Like, a young, ambitious person. There's some jazz. There's like a little with the drum.
Yes.
And there's that guy, that bald guy.
J.K. Simmons. being abusive to Miles Teller.
Yeah.
I do want, from what I've seen, very good. I mean, that's not a hot take. Whiplash is
So
good.
No, but I like seeing J.K. Simmons because he's like the boss in this movie. Like he's Sebastian's boss at the beginning, and he fires him. And I thought that was an interesting little like maybe nod there.
Definitely.
I don't know.
No, I liked that. I liked the it's a callback.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to think in a alternate universe, J.K. Simmons in La La Land is just, that's what he does after he teaches jazz.
He harasses his employees at the piano bar.
Yeah, he also works at a piano bar. I don't know. I
think that could make sense. Yeah.
I'm into that.
This movie is a lot about choices too, I feel. We see Mia having to choose, like she kind of chooses between Sebastain, and then she has like this boyfriend in the beginning that I honestly forget about after a while. But like, you know,
it's so funny that nothing burger of a boyfriend because Seb invites Mia to go to the movies to see Rebel Without a Cause. Because like me in Whiplash, Mia is like, oh, I haven't seen Rebel Without a Cause, even though she references it. And she's at this stuffy dinner with her boyfriend. Yeah. And she's like, I gotta go and see Seb and go to this movie. And in my mind, I'm like, leave him. Like the whole time. I'm like, you gotta leave.
Yeah. I'm glad she makes the right choice at the very end.
Yeah.
But, or, you know, to like at the end of that, like she finally, she makes it to the movie at least, which was great, which was more than we could say about Sebastain making it to her one-woman show. Just saying.
Oh.
That was a choice. I think he could have missed the photo shoot.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think they could have done without him. I mean, it may not be good for his personal career, I guess, but he would have still been in the band. I'm sure they wouldn't have just cut him out for that.
Yeah.
You know, they probably would have more photo shoots later.
It's true. Well, it's funny we're talking about this and like choices and Mia and Seb and their relationship, because the way I interpreted when Seb is at the photo shoot and just like doesn't leave to go to the one woman show, I interpreted it as like a thing that he felt like he had to do. Yeah. Like an obligation.
He did seem uncomfortable. Like he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
They have him making all these funny faces and biting his lip as he's like pretending like with the glasses like down to his nose.
Yes. And like the sacrifices you're willing to make.
Yeah.
To quote unquote achieve your dreams. Which at a certain point, I feel like being successful and achieving your dreams, they seem like things that would be synonymous, but I don't know if it's our culture or just society or just people that I've come in contact with. But sometimes it seems like achieving your dreams and being successful are constantly fighting against each other.
Yeah, I agree. I think so.
And with Seb, not to defend Seb, I know I come across as a men's rights activist. I'm Team Mia all the way in this one. Mm-hmm. But Seb not leaving the John Legend photo shoot. Yeah. It's just like one of those things that you have to do to achieve success.
Yeah, he's doing what he thinks he has to.
Yes, thank you.
No, I understand. I can't exactly fault him for it. It's like they're both, it's like the timing. It's very cruel. Yes. Like this movie is very cruel to the both of them at different times. You know what I mean? It's 100%. Like you can't have everything you want, you know?
Not at the time. Yeah. You know, there's a time for achieving your goals and achieving your dreams. And sometimes you can do it with a significant other and sometimes you can't. Yeah. And sometimes you meet people like Mia and Seb, like in their relationship, you meet at a special time and you help each other grow. Maybe in another lifetime. Like I love at the end when they do the another lifetime, what would happen if instead of Seb brushing her off at the piano bar, he grabs her. Yeah. And, all the little things, like they could have been having a family. Oh, what if they did that and achieved their dreams? But,
that's not how life happens.
Yeah. Life is cruel. Yeah. Life sucks. Then you die. To quote Niles from The Nanny.
Oh yeah, is he the one that said that?
Life sucks and you die.
I sometimes, like, that's my Roman Empire. I think that quote, but like I forget what that's from. It's so funny. The Nanny of all things.
I mean, maybe it's something else. Maybe he's just saying the quote, but I attribute it to Niles.
Yeah, I think it was all Niles.
Yes.
I wonder if he had anything to do with this movie.
He did. I mean, what if?
Oh. Yeah. No, I love it. I love that scene at the end, and it's a little much though. I didn't realize how long that scene was. It's like a whole little musical number at some points, and
it's really good. It was really good in the theater.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of those things. Like, a movie can't, I don't know. I have a really nice TV, not to flex, but it's still not the same.
You'd rather be in a theater.
Seeing that movie for the first time in the movie theater and seeing the ending, that's what really stuck with me. Talk about waterworks, but also,
it tore me apart.
Yeah, it did tear me apart when I saw it in 2016 at the movie theater. I don't know, something about it. It's a little different. Maybe that's my Seb mansplaining me. It's like the theater. It's an collective experience.
Yeah. Oh, and when he, like, you know how she's telling him, because he wants, the whole time he's like, I want to have a jazz, like a lounge, like a piano, have my own piano bar or whatever, and I want to call it Chicken on a Stick and have chicken and jazz music or whatever. And she's like, yeah, but you should probably call it Seb's, like, and he's like, no. And she even comes up with like some concept art, some like for his logo or something. And then at the end, he actually, like, when she stumbles into the bar again, which I feel like that has to be a Casablanca reference, stumble, you know, and all the gin joints. I don't know. I love that. But it's set, there's the sign that she designed, you know, and we see her face just plastered about town because she's like a big star now. And it's like, maybe if they had met up at this point now, then that would have been perfect. But she's already, you know, she's already got a family, which was jarring to me this time around. I didn't remember that. I didn't know she had a baby. Like, I totally forgot that. I was like, what?
Totally forget when anyone ever has a baby.
Yeah. I was like, wait, what? She has a baby, which I guess 5 years go by or 6, which it also made me think, because the first time watching this in 2016, I thought they were like maybe in their early 20s, but watching it now, I'm like, wait, are they in their late 20s? Are they like further mid 20s? Like, maybe they're, you know how certain people want certain things at different times. So like maybe there's a lot more going on that I didn't realize until now.
Well, you know, Ryan Gosling wasn't the first choice Damien Chazelle had to play Seb. It was Miles Teller. Mm-hmm. And with Miles Teller and Emma Stone, I think that the ending would have been read so incredibly different.
Yeah.
You know, because Miles Teller is so young and Emma Stone was so young too. Mm-hmm. It would be like, oh, people in their early to mid 20s. But because it's Ryan Gosling and he's older. And
I didn't realize he was older.
Yeah, and they like made the role a little older for Seb. So like I think like Seb's probably like early 30s.
Okay.
Mia's like early 20s to mid 20s.
Okay.
So I do think that plays well. Ryan Gosling not achieving his dreams and being a little older than her, and her being a little more wide-eyed.
Maybe that's why their approach was different. Yeah. That makes sense.
And if it was Miles Teller and Emma Stone, him having the club at the end would still read like, oh, 5 years has passed, but you're still like really young. So like you didn't earn it enough. I don't know why that is, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You would think though, if he was older, like maybe he would have the family though, but he doesn't. Like, he still holds a candle for her.
Yeah.
And that's it's just very frustrating.
That's what happens when men get older.
Yeah.
When women get older, they like get married and settle down and have families. And most of the time, men just become lonely and hold a candle and like brood.
And then play their little piano songs.
Yeah. Which I'm here for.
Yeah.
I picked the latter, maybe. I don't, universe. Please don't. Like, no, but.
No, I feel like his story was more relatable. I'm like, if that was me, if I was chasing my dreams and like I broke up with my, whatever, like if this happened, like if I was like a, well, I guess I am creative, but this played out, I'm like, I probably would be Seb. Would not be popping out a baby. I'm sorry.
I say in my head that I'm a Seb. I would totally be a Mia. Yeah. Not with the babies, but I am known to rebound.
Yeah.
I also, you know what they say about females versus males? Like, if a female ends a relationship, she's been checked out for a long time. If a man ends it, he's probably cheating.
Huh.
Is this still applicable when, because like a female, after you have like, according to Sex and the City logic, you have 3 great loves, right? Or 2 great loves, or I think it's 3 great loves.
Yeah.
So if you have only 3 great loves, and Seb is one for Mia, for sure. Mm-hmm. And with Scott, Everett Scott, what's the guy from The Thing You Do? He plays her husband.
Yeah. I knew he looked familiar.
Yeah. Mr. Not Tom Hanks.
Yeah. But kind of gives those vibes just a little.
100%. For sure. But yeah, I guess I can totally see how Mia, after this one great love, learning a lot, would meet someone else, fall in love with them, and have kids, and try to forget about it mentally.
Yeah.
And then Ryan Gosling still brooding.
Yeah.
I can see it. That's how people cope.
Yeah.
I'm
like, is he going to be brooding forever, though? Like, is he ever going to love again? Is he like Allie, where she's like, I'll never love again?
But then who knows? La La Land 2, Electric Boogaloo, after Mia leaves. Not Autumn. That's 500 Days of Summer. I'm getting my movies confused.
Yeah.
Samantha, or whatever her name is.
Who?
I don't know. I'm just naming a name.
Yeah.
Brianna.
Me? Ooh, I step in.
You just walk in. And then all of a sudden lock eyes with Seb.
And I'm like, I love the music you just played, as he walks by.
And he's reciprocating.
He's receptive now. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how that begins.
Yeah.
That's life, baby.
That's life. Case closed.
Yes.
I like this La La Land too.
La La Land too. Oh my God.
Too many La La Lands.
Yes.
One's just enough, I think. I think
so.
This movie's perfect. I do like those not so happy endings sometimes, because it's just like, oh, well, that's life.
This is the perfect ending.
Yeah.
100%. So, I definitely want to talk about the Oscars.
Yeah.
Of that year. But before we do, okay, what I really want to talk about is throwing back to the old Hollywood influence. So several of Emma Stone's outfits are actually replicas of iconic dresses. Mm. So like the green dress Mia wears on the first date with Sebastain, seeing Rebel Without a Cause, was actually modeled on a Judy Garland dress.
Ooh.
From A Star is Born. Speaking of Star is Born. And the black trousers were reminiscent of Audrey Hepburn's Lookin' Funny Face.
Love it.
But yeah, no, this movie does call back a lot. I did get the funny face reference in the choreography. Mm-hmm. That yellow dress.
Yes.
Is, dare I say it, iconic, or on its way to be iconic. What a lovely night, that dance number. Mm-hmm. That yellow dress.
Yeah.
Is going to be one of the things that it's like when you think of 2010 cinema, you're going to go to. Like with, Audrey Hepburn in Funny Face, or, the red gown when she's going down the steps. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, I know what that is. That makes me think of that classic movie.
Yeah.
Like, okay, at the cinema cafes.
Yeah.
When they're like, this is all like the movies, and it's like Scarlett O'Hara and Gone with the Wind, and you see Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman
with the red dress. Yeah, it's gonna be Emma Stone with the yellow dress,
and it's gonna be her and Ryan Gosling doing like the little hand move tap dancing.
Yeah,
like that's the clip that's going to be shown before you eat your chicken tenders and watch Cars 2.
Yeah, I do think this movie will be a classic. It's on its way,
I think so.
Yeah.
I also think it's going to be a classic because there was something really big that happened.
Yeah. Are we going to talk about the Oscars?
Can we talk about them, Brie? I'm going to show you a clip from the 2017 Oscar ceremony, and I want to get your thoughts.
All right.
We lost, by the way, but, Guys, I'm sorry. No, there's a mistake. Moonlight, you guys won Best Picture.
Warren, what did you do? I won
going to tell you what happened. I opened the envelope, and it said, Emma Stone, La La Land. That's why I took such a long look at Faye and at you. I wasn't trying to be funny. Wow, this is Moonlight, the best picture. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's frustrating that Moonlight's win was a little overshadowed by La La Land. You know, like,
Can you describe what happened?
yeah. So the presenter, I don't know who he is.
Well, Warren Beatty
More, is that who it is?
and Faye Dunaway
They
are
were
the ones reading who best picture is
Yeah, but they gave him the wrong envelope, I guess, and it had Emma Stone's name
for best actress in
Best
La La
Actress.
Land.
Yeah. And he just looked at it like, oh, I don't know what to do with this, and assumed that it must mean La La Land, but he was wrong. And yeah, Moonlight really won. But everyone had already got up on stage, like all the La La Land cast, and everyone was already excited.
For 2 whole minutes.
Yeah, it felt like a really long time. I remember when this happened, I think I saw it in real time, I want to say, and just being like, being like, what?
I remember. Oh, sorry to interrupt.
No.
Well, I remember this night. Like, as clear as day, like it was yesterday. We hosted at our friend's house an Oscars viewing party because that's the thing, like, I like to do, and I know you've kind of picked up on it.
Yeah.
But my goal ever since I was in like middle school or high school has always been to see every single Best Picture nominated film.
Yeah.
Like every year. Like the Oscars are my Super Bowl.
Yes. It's like the fantasy football people, but it's like with the Oscars, like you guess like who you think is gonna win. You like what categories are people gonna be nominated for?
Definitely. Just
what's gonna be the best picture. Like I loved like when we did that thing, like we could vote. Like remember you made like the little
always the ballots.
The ballots, yeah. That was so much fun.
Yes. We really are like fantasy football players when it comes to the Oscars.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just remember this Oscar season was one where I saw a majority of the movies, which sometimes doesn't happen. Recent years hasn't happened.
Same.
But I loved so many movies that came out in 2016. Like, of course, La La Land, which had 13 nominations. Same as like Titanic and All About Eve, which is crazy. And then, Moonlight, which I wanted to win Best Picture.
Yeah.
But also fantastic films like Lion or Arrival or Manchester by the Sea, which I loved. Manchester by the Sea. It's like I still think about that. Like those performances by Michelle Williams and Casey Affleck, like very often, like 7 years later.
Didn't you see it like a couple times in the theater?
I did. And it pulled on. That's a movie where I would cry and like pull on my heartstrings, but very good. Arrival's also like Amy Adams snubbed for Best Actress. It's just still an injustice. Jackie came out that year.
Yeah.
So a really good Oscar race. But I remember where we were because we hosted that Oscar party and we left before Best Picture. And we're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be La La Land. It's winning. Best Actress. Just Emma Stone just went for Best Actress. Like, yeah, we know how this night's going. It's La La Land's going to win Best Picture, of course.
Right.
Also, this is a year or two after Oscars So White, which I think the year before was the Oscars So White hashtag. I just remember like 2014, people were saying that because they only nominated white people for all the acting categories.
Yeah.
And then the hashtag the following year, Oscar So White, happened because again.
It was again, yeah.
They only nominated white actors.
So it's kind of like, well, I guess this is probably going to happen again.
Yeah, and I think La La Land 2 is one of those movies, it's very reminiscent of like a movie like The Artist that won in 2012, where I just thought, this movie's made to win an Oscar. It's made to win Best Picture. Like, of course it's going to get it. Like, whatever. And I think it would have. I think our political climate at the time maybe had something to do with it. Changing up the landscape, thank God.
Yeah.
Because Moonlight was so deserving of winning Best Picture.
Yeah.
But I remember that night because we went home. And we were like, La La Land's going to win. It's,
Yeah.
It's BS. Moonlight should win, but whatever.
Yeah.
And I went to, like, I got in my pajamas to go to bed, and I got a call on the phone from one of our friends that was like, did you hear that La La Land didn't win? It was actually Moonlight.
Yeah.
And we like turned on the TV.
We were like, what?
I remember you like ran into my room. Do you remember this?
Not
like,
really.
Or vaguely? Like
No.
you ran into my, I remember it being like a thing. It happened so fast.
And then go on Twitter probably.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
See all the people like tweeting it. And watching the clips.
Prime time for Twitter.
Yeah.
I
do people tweet like that anymore? Like while things are happening? I don't think we do. I mean, it's not even
No.
Twitter. So
It's X.
yeah.
I know. I miss 2016 Twitter.
Yeah.
Between this and like Taylor Swift's Snake, like Kanye West controversy, it's one of those moments that you just have to be there
Yeah.
to witness that moment in time.
Yeah, definitely. No, it was a big controversy, I feel like, for a time. People were talking about it.
I felt vindicated personally.
Yeah.
I don't know why personally, but
yeah, I mean, I felt like Moonlight deserved to win. I think there were people that were upset, though, for some reason that
Really?
La La Land didn't win. I don't know. People on Twitter. Not everyone, but
see, I don't remember it this way. So how do you remember
I mean,
the
pretty
La La
much,
Land mix up?
pretty much the same. But I think there were maybe some people that were like, oh, I think La La Land should have won, or like it was wrong. And I'm like, well, I mean, but Moonlight. I mean, have you seen Moonlight? I don't know. I'm like, if Moonlight wasn't made in that same year, they weren't up against each other. In another year, La La Land could have won. But I think it's just like, oh man, people got to get their shit together in these awards. Like they got to make sure they're handing off the right envelopes and have the right presenters. You know what I mean? Like this was kind of like not one person's fault, but multiple
No.
people.
And I liked looking back when we just watched the clip of the mix up. I do think it's nice and it's admirable that I think it's a producer or
The bald dude.
the bald dude. You know, the cast of La La Land, they're not the villains of the story for sure.
Yeah.
And the Academy leaves them on stage for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Thinking that they won and everyone has their Oscar. And finally, the guy is just like, no, this is, you know.
Right.
But I think to say that, what I didn't remember from that clip during the time was Jimmy Kimmel going on mic and being like, well, you should keep it. Which I'm like, what?
Yeah, maybe that's what it is that I remember like a little bit is like someone said they should keep it was Jimmy Kimmel. Oh my gosh. But you can't keep, I mean, just because someone called your name, like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think La La Land, like the cast personally had a problem.
No.
just
Jimmy Kimmel pulling a Katie Heron and Mean Girls and at the prom and being like, we should all have little pieces of Oscars.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It don't work like that.
I'm like so glad though Warren Beatty right then and there set the record
He
straight.
did. He set the record straight. I think in an interview too, he also talked about it, but like, he's like, yeah, I'm old, but I'm not dumb. Like, I just didn't know what to do, like under pressure. They handed me this envelope.
And you roll with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that they have like a dude with a briefcase at the Oscars. They
Yeah.
do though.
I'm like, they set him
secure.
Do you think someone set this up or set Warren Beatty up? You know, like, is this a conspiracy?
I think so. I think
Like, this has never happened before. Like, I know mistakes can happen, but like,
the Academy and Faye Dunaway did him dirty. But also, lore has it that one of the guys in the Academy that's in charge of, you know, the little envelopes was very preoccupied and more like focused on tweeting.
wait,
And
really?
wanted the center of attention. Yeah.
Wait, why? We don't know who he is, right?
No, good point. I don't
Like,
know.
wait, he was tweeting. What was he tweeting? Oh, I'm doing the envelopes this year at the Oscars. It's like,
Or like I just met Emma Stone or, you know, some like weird, you know, like
I hope he was fired.
I hope so too. You know, I don't know. This is alleged, but
Wow.
anyways.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Well, he should be fired. After that incident, I feel like you would be maybe like at least maybe suspended or like put on a different position.
Yeah.
Maybe not in charge of something that important.
Take him out.
Yeah.
I think he was, right? What happened after? Okay, so there's this accounting firm, PricewaterhouseCoopers, which handled the ballots for the Academy Awards for over 80 years, took full responsibility for the snafu. Weeks later, the Board of Governors for the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences voted to retain the firm's services despite the Best Picture mix-up. So maybe conspiracy. This time around, the Academy has announced new safeguards to make sure such a mistake doesn't reoccur. The two PwC partners who were responsible for guarding last year's winners' envelopes will not be involved in the ceremony.
Oh, good.
Tim Ryan, chairman and senior partner at the firm, will oversee the evening. And this is for the 2018 one, so it could have changed. But the same dude, Rick Rosas, another partner, will return to his post. And then there's going to be a third stationed in the control room with the show's producers. And there's also going to be the presenter and stage manager backstage before they go on to verify that the correct person's in the envelope.
Gotcha. I guess they weren't doing a lot of like checks on what was happening. They were just like, yeah, I mean,
I don't know. Maybe this is a conspiracy, Brie.
Yeah, you think it was staged?
I don't know. There's a lot of cooks in this kitchen, so maybe not. But I don't know.
It's
I
odd,
lean on
right?
the side of conspiracy. I
Yeah.
can't put my finger on why. It's
Just stir things up, make the Oscars interesting, get people to tune in. You think?
which so smart. This is the best Oscar moment of the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Name another moment except the slap.
Yeah. I guess this and the slap. I want there to be a fun happening though with the Oscars. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like no slaps, like not like drama. I want there to be like a fun mishap.
Like what?
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Like a fun host?
Yeah, like just a fun host. Maybe part of a set falls apart, but in a goofy way.
It doesn't hit anyone.
It doesn't. I don't know.
It doesn't pull a Bret Michaels at the 2009 Tonys.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I just want people to have a fun time.
I really think what would spice up just enough the Oscars. So, have you heard that allegedly it's rumored that Meryl Streep and Martin Short are an item?
Yeah, I've heard that rumor.
Okay, wouldn't it be truly iconic if they rolled up as a couple to the Oscars?
Yeah.
Just didn't make a statement, just
rolled up. Yeah. Strut on in, sit together.
I think that would be enough talk, enough conversation, at least for me personally.
Yeah, get it, Meryl Streep.
I think that would be crazy, but like in a good way. I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, they're a couple.
Yeah, that'd be cute.
I do think it's poetic, the mix up.
Yeah? How so?
Well, so La La Land is the front runner.
Mm.
It's, I think some of the criticism, which is unfair and unwarranted in my opinion, but the criticism was it's a white man saving jazz, which is not what La La Land's about.
Oh.
But,
Yeah.
that was the talk at the time. And the idea that you think this movie like La La Land, which is set up to win, which is Oscar bait, but in the best way, but it is
Sure.
an Oscar baity movie versus a smaller, more intimate movie like Moonlight. It's a black director, a black cast.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little different than La La Land as far as scale.
Yeah.
It's a different type of movie too. La La Land's about your dreams.
Definitely. This one's way more, Moonlight's way more serious.
Yeah. And it tells the story of this boy throughout his whole entire life, played by 3 actors. And he's, coming to grips with his sexuality.
Yeah.
And like,
It's a lot deeper than La La Land.
It's just so different. It's night and day.
Yeah.
But it is a little poetic that like Moonlight is like a little engine that could. It's, the underdog.
Mm-hmm.
After all the Oscars so white, you think La La Land's won Best Picture.
Right.
Again, the same type of story, the same perspective, everything was good back in, Make America Great Again in the glory days.
Yeah.
So to have that mix up and Moonlight win is poetic.
Yeah. No, I agree. It was a pivotal moment, I feel.
Yes. And now we get prestige Oscar-winning actress Emma Stone. I mean, as much as I loved her in The House Bunny and I loved Easy A. Superbad's great. But I love that this was the film that turned Emma Stone into like a legitimate actress with like a capital A.
Yeah, definitely. I love Emma Stone. I want to see Poor Things.
Well, anything else before we wrap this baby up?
I like how this movie, we didn't really talk about it at the very beginning, but she's a barista. She works at a coffee shop. And at the very beginning, she serves like there's like this famous actress or whatever. And like, they're like, oh, the coffee's on me. And the same thing happens to her at the end of the movie. Like it's like a full circle moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I like when movies do that, kind of tying up the loose ends. I don't know. It was just kind of satisfying to see her go through that journey.
Yes.
And like climb. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, now she's the baddie who gets her coffee paid for. I don't know. I like that touch.
It's very sweet.
Yeah. I also like seeing like in movies people having just like these survival jobs, but like, you know, their real passion's something else. She might work at a coffee shop, but she's, you know, she wants to be an actress, or like in A Star Is Born, and you know, which I know we'll probably get into when we talk about A Star Is Born.
But it's funny because, you know, Mia is working as a barista in the coffee shop on the lot.
Right. She's on the lot, the studio lot.
Yeah. And it kind of feeds into everyone's out here for a dream.
Yeah.
Everyone has a dream, and that's why you come out here. It's like back in the day, they came for the gold rush, you know.
Now
it's Hollywood. Or not even now, it's Hollywood. But that romantic idea.
It's very romantic. This movie is very romantic. And I love that.
How can you not? This movie, like, I understand why we were at the precipice of change.
Yeah.
As far as movies and what we like to see collectively.
Mm-hmm.
What we like is our best picture winners.
Yeah.
But without that, La La Land's the perfect encapsulation of like dreams and dreamers and musicals and old Hollywood and all the cliche like full circle moments that you were talking about, like
yeah, there's
that
some
you
cliches,
love, but in a good way, in like the best way. Damien Chazelle plays with those cliches very, very well.
Yeah. Also, just Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling in a movie together just really slaps. I don't know. Maybe I hope they do something else in the future.
I hope so.
That'd be really awesome to see them have a full circle moment. You know,
definitely. I'd watch any movie with Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone.
Same.
I like that this movie is told through seasons.
Yes.
Very and just like that of them.
Yes.
But
I love that too. I meant to say that too. Yes.
I love the cute little title cards.
Yeah.
I like that it's a season of these two characters' lives. It's like just this moment in time.
They lean into like certain things with the seasons too. Like the summer is like the happy times and the best times, and the winter's like ugh, you know, and the spring is, I don't know, are things reborn? Did they
reborn?
That?
Things grow.
Yeah.
Blossom.
They blossom.
Spring.
Yeah. No, I loved seeing that too.
I like that storytelling device.
Same. Yeah. They could have done something different. They don't use any voiceovers or anything, which is fine. They have enough going on as it is.
No, I think it's just enough.
Yeah.
I just really enjoyed La La Land. I was very surprised that this go around I liked it as much as I did, but La La Land's very great.
Yeah. It holds up for me. It still makes me feel like I even cried at the end just a bit. I tried not to. I'm like, this is not going to get me. I'm like, I'm not going to feel emotions. And I did. I was like, oh, wow, this movie still tugs at my heartstrings a bit. And I think it is because it's about the dreamers, and I can relate to that. I'm like,
same.
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised that it still hit like it did in 2016.
Yeah, I know. I kept thinking, oh, I'm going to find something that's going to take me out or be like, oh, this is cheesy or something. But it really wasn't cheesy to me. I thought like all the choreography and singing's very tastefully done.
Shout out to Mandy Moore.
Yeah.
Not the Tangled and Princess Diaries pop star Mandy Moore,
but
you know, choreographer Mandy Moore.
Choreographer, yeah.
But I did read somewhere that Olivia Rodrigo listed one of these, like in one of these, like my favorite things articles, La La Land was one of her favorites. And I was very skeptical But as a geriatric Olivia Rodrigo fan, I thought I'd have to give it another go. And I'm glad I did because I really like La La Land.
I think it's probably influenced her. She has a color. She wears a lot of purple.
She does.
You know? She's in like that purple dress. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Have you seen like clips of her Guts tour on TikTok?
Yeah.
So when she does like Love is Embarrassing, that choreography that's very like Fosse-esque.
Yes.
We see the influence.
We
the
see
impact.
it. We see it.
I'm glad La La Land still holds up after all these years, despite the La La Land Moonlight mix-up.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for Emma Stone to win Best Actress again this year.
I know. It would be iconic if her and Ryan Gosling both win. That'd be really cool.
Who's nominated for Best Actor this year?
Yeah, let's look.
Watch it be like, we read it and then like, yeah, Ryan Gosling has no chance in hell. Oh, yeah, supporting actor, probably.
Oh, supporting.
Yeah. Okay. He's nominated for Best Supporting Actor, Sterling K. Brown for American Fiction, Robert De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer,
Wow.
Ryan Gosling, Barbie, Mark Ruffalo, Poor Things. So Robert Downey Jr. is going to win for Oppenheimer.
You think
and
so?
Emma Stone's going to win for Poor Things. I think so.
Wow.
What do you think?
It would be wild if Ryan Gosling won his Barbie. What if it's Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things, though?
Yeah, I've heard good things. I low-key want it to be Bobby D for Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah, I know, right? I was literally thinking like, oh, he could easily win. I mean, it's Robert De Niro. He could easily.
Who's gonna win Best Actor?
Well, I was looking at that too. Bradley Cooper is nominated
For Maestro, which I'm going to watch before we do A Star Is Born. Just because. Have you seen that clip of Bradley Cooper talking about the ghost of Leonard Bernstein and crying? And like, it's super cringe.
Really?
And I'm like, I have to see Maestro now. Like, if we're going to talk about Bradley Cooper.
Is that him like on, like, not in character?
No, it's him. But he feels the power of Leonard Bernstein. He's never met him, but he spent like 6 years like in, I don't know, learning to conduct. And
that's crazy. So wait, so is Bradley Cooper the maestro?
He's Leonard Bernstein. Yeah,
that's wild.
Who'd have thunk?
So
Not me.
He did like a Austin Butler, like Elvis situation. Like he just
think
can't
so.
shake the character.
I think so.
That's so wild.
You got to see this interview where he starts to cry. It's wild.
Oh, that'll be the first thing I do tonight after.
You know who I want to win Best Actor?
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah. That's my baby girl.
Wait, what? Wait. Emily Blunt is nominated, but not Florence Pugh? She sat naked in that chair for nothing. You know? Where's the
There should
justice?
be an Oscar for Best Naked in a Chair performance.
Well, didn't we see her more than Emily Blunt's character in that movie, or no? Well, I did like her. I did
No.
like Emily Blunt's character, though. She was just fed up.
Yeah. I think she was playing a little more of a nuance.
Yeah,
Like a nuanced character, but
probably. Yeah.
either way, I did not
I'm
think
just kidding.
about.
I love Emily Blunt. I'm just kidding.
I just don't think about her performance in Oppenheimer. I think about Cillian Murphy though.
Yeah.
And I think about him naked on a chair looking like a bird. Like
that's,
a plucked
and that's
bird.
why he's gonna win.
Late to the Party is hosted by Nikki Jensen and Brie Piccone. Our podcast is produced by Grace Dunbar and edited by Brie.
That's me. Thanks for listening. Make sure to rate and review us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We'll see you next week. Bye.